2017. If we could have the roll call, please.
Mr. Diamond.
Present.
Ms. Garrett.
Here.
Mr. Lefebvre.
Here.
Ms. Macklin. Here. Ms. McCarthy Johnson. Mr. Rose. Present. Mr. Tajani.
Present.
Ms. Trice.
Here.
President Shattuck.
Here. If everyone can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silence, remembering especially all of those whose lives were lost and impacted with the tragedy on Franklin Avenue, which will celebrate its 1-year anniversary tomorrow. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I'd just like to note that we are being recorded. This is our first trial session recording tonight's council meeting so that we can upload it to the YouTube channel. Hey Mo, hey world.
Okay. The first public comment is related for items on the agenda. No one signed up, so we will move on to the regular agenda items. Item number 1 is approving council meeting minutes for February 1st, 2017.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lefebvre, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments?
I have a small point. I was absent for that meeting, and I need to be listed as absent on the meeting minutes.
With that correction, any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 2, approval of council meeting minutes for February 8th, 2017.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lefebvre, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. The next item is the approval of the checks for February 1st through 28th, 2017.
So moved.
All right, I need to find
Just to say the
the
amount.
dollar amount.
$320,012.
Okay. Approvals. Oh, there it is. Approval of checks February 1st through 28th, 2017, in the amount of $854,865.23. Payroll disbursements of $292,651.87. Voided checks in the amount of $1,126.10 for a total disbursement of $1,146,391.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lefebvre, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 3 is approval of SEIU Local Union number 668 contractual agreement contingent upon approval. We have a motion by Councilman Lefebvre, a second by Councilwoman Macklin. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 5, did we table this last week? So we'll need a motion to take it off the table.
I'll make a motion to remove from the table the resolution 1703 VPRP application for 613 Wood Street.
Second.
There is a motion by Councilman Lefebvre, a second by Councilman Diamond to take the item off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes.
Abstain.
Resolution number 17-013 is VPRP application for 613 Wood Street.
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Councilman Rose. Any questions or comments? I know that there's someone in the audience who understands the process and I think understands that her interests will be negotiated with the county from this point forward, that this action is related to the council's action with our agreement with the county to participate in the vacant property recovery program. We can only, our resolution states that the application as received is consistent with the comprehensive plan. We cannot consider any other facts. So we have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Councilman Rose. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I abstain.
I have an abstention as well.
Okay. 6 in favor and 2 abstentions. Item number 6, resolution 17-014 is amending Kathleen Rollins' appointment to the Wilkinsburg Penn Joint Water Authority. If you recall, was it only last week that we appointed her and said that there may be some clarification because our record keeping and the Wilkinsburg Penn Joint Water Authority's record keeping on terms somehow did not correspond beginning sometime, about 10 years ago. So that we wanted to get everyone on the same page and then we would likely have some revisions. So this would appoint Kathleen Rollins to the Board of Directors of the Wilkinsburg Penn Joint Water Authority for a 5-year term beginning February 1st, 2017 and continuing through December 31st, 2019. So it's not a 5-year term.
Second.
No, that's not a 5-year term.
It ends, that's the end date.
Okay, so she's filling the remainder.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then
So is that another amendment?
so
That's what Mr. Bernard said that
That
year.
year,
Mr. Bernard
but the resolution says 5 year, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Yes.
just says 5-year, doesn't say we're appointing her to fulfill the rest of a 5-year term.
shall we just
Amend
amend
the resolution.
the resolution
Yes.
to remove the 5-year?
Yes.
So if we can have,
So I accept that amendment.
okay.
Likewise.
So we have a modified resolution with a motion by Councilwoman Macklin, a second by Councilman LaFave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Likewise, item 7 is resolution 17-019. We're going to reappoint Brenda Joyce May to the Wilkinsburg Penn Joint Water Authority for a 5-year term beginning on March 8th, 2017 and continuing through December 31st, 2021. So again, I would ask for a resolution just eliminating the 5 years reference.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Macklin, a second by Councilman LaFave. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 8 is resolution 17-20, a false alarm permit fee. And with that, I'll turn it over to Oh,
So when we revised the resolution fee in January, we had discussions way back in October with the chief about raising that fee because it was way too low for what other communities are charging. So we revised the rate to the rate you see in front of you on the resolution, which, just to process the thing is, just a couple of man hours in processing eats up $25.
so
That is more competitive with other communities.
So this sets the fee at, after the 4th false alarm, it's $75, and additional false alarms are $100 per occurrence for residents and commercial. After the 4th, it's $100, and additional alarms are $150 per occurrence.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. Does this apply only to businesses or to businesses and residents?
No, that's why we have the two schedules I just announced.
Oh,
The first one is for residential, and it's on page 24 of your packet.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 9 is Resolution 17-021, offering a condition of employment to Elizabeth Jaron as full-time code enforcement officer at an annual salary of $40,568.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Vice President Garrett. I would suggest that, I don't think it needs to be in here, but just have the minutes note that we had spoken that for code enforcement officers, one condition would be sort of a 2-year commitment, and if they didn't stay that long, that they had to repay us for any training or uniforms, so that I would just stipulate that that be put in the contract. Do we have agreement to?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Any opposed? One. And the motion passes. Item number 10 is Resolution 17-022, awarding J. Dell Minifield construction contract for CD 42. This is our emergency demolition project, and this is in the amount of
$92,300.
$92,300.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. And just as a note, this contract too came in significantly under budget, which is what we were expecting. So we will now be able to ask the county to amend our contract to add additional properties, and we have these properties identified, and we sort of suggested early on that they include these for ease of administration, but now we will be able to amend it and possibly get another 4 or 5 emergency demos to be able to address that list. So it is a positive problem to have, although it will create some more administrative work for us. The next item is Resolution 17-023, awarding Lutman Excavating for a CD 39 Hosanna House area demolition contract. This is in the amount of
$58,200.
$58,200 plus it's the optional amount of
$8,500 for the alternate.
$8,500 for the alternate. If you recall, this is one that was originally awarded to the Hosanna House and Action Housing working together. They asked us to administer it for them. We said that we were concerned that the balance was not going to be sufficient. We did get written confirmation from Hosanna House that they are going to cover the difference between what's available in the grant and the total cost. So we do have that in writing, and it will be nice to get these properties down. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Councilman Rose, a second by Councilman LaFave. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 12, approving street closure application for the WCDC Main Street event contingent upon approval of the police department.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Rose, a second by Vice President Garrett. Any questions or comments?
What day of the week is that?
The
It's
application,
5:20.
It's a Saturday.
May 20th.
it's a Saturday.
All right, thank you.
We have a motion and a second.
So my question is, when the police does approve this, does it have to come back to us, or does
No.
it pretty much, okay?
This is granting our approval.
Okay. Why did it come to us?
Well, they need time, and the police had been asked to get it to us, and we got the police's response just a few minutes before the
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
So they had no problem with it.
Well, they do have some issues about security and how many people are going to be attending. So it's nothing that I don't think can be worked out. But the problem is, they're planning an event 8 weeks from now, so they kind of need to know it's
This is
okay.
our last.
Okay.
So
I see.
we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Any opposed? And the motion passes. We are looking for authorization to advertise a zoning amendment hearing to be held on April 5th, 2017 at 6 p.m. This was discussed at the Planning Commission last night. The Planning Commission has been working to look at our zoning ordinance while it was just adopted in 2013. A good planning commission always wants to stay current and is constantly looking at ways to improve it. So one thing we did, it had actually been heard and approved by this body previously, but we created a historic district overlay for the business district, which required that new construction be built to the sidewalk line rather than allow for them to be set back from, and also set height requirements. This also takes into consideration revisions changing the administration process to make it less costly for improvements like residential solar panels and urban agriculture, both only as an accessory use. So those had been conditional uses when the original zoning ordinance had been enacted. The fee was $50 or $75. Now it's been adjusted to reflect the actual cost, which is $1,200. We certainly don't want to discourage those things, so we've added some supplemental regulations which allow these to be uses by right, but still have to follow the same conditions.
I'll make the motion that we authorize advertising of this hearing.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman LaFave, a second by Councilwoman Macklin. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item 14 is discussion regarding the Comcast grant. And we'll turn this over to the borough manager, and I know he sent us out some suggestions.
Yeah, I sent you all an email. We're getting roughly $17,000 from Comcast. Sent you an email about my proposal to use it for recreation and related outdoor activities for the borough, including a inflatable projection screen, a new stage at the Penn Parklet, and a couple other things to go along with those recreation activities. I thought it'd be prudent to get your approval of that to proceed with those items. I have reached out to the vocational technical school. It's called
Full trip.
Yes, and they have gotten back to me that they are interested in potentially working with us, with the students to help with that, design, electrical, and potentially building it. So they're going to pass it through the channels that need to be and get back to us, as well as Wilkinsburg, Westinghouse has also said that they may be willing to help as well. So I'm reaching out to them, and hopefully we'll get some answers here soon.
And this would give us the equipment that would allow us to do movies in parks because it's all easily moved.
And a
And a
popcorn
popcorn machine.
You can't have movies without popcorn.
I'm fine with your suggestions. I think that's great.
Do we have consensus?
Yes.
Okay. I think you've got your approval. Item number 15 is accepting library employee Wendy Silva's letter of resignation effective March 28, 2017. We have a motion by Councilwoman Macklin, a second by Councilman LaFave. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Any opposed? And the motion passes. Moving on to public comment. This is for items not on the agenda. I do not have anyone signed up. I don't see anyone jumping up. Maybe the fact that we're broadcasting this is going to keep public comment down.
Well, he's only filming from the back, so
Yeah,
you
that
can
was
see
it.
your face if you do have it.
That
But those are
might
your
be-
name, yes.
that might even be more
you're
incentive.
ad-
No, you're on tape, you're here.
Mr. President, can I
Yes.
just make a comment as to why I voted no on item number Item number 9. The reason why I voted no, and I want it reflected in the minutes, is because if we're going to have a trainee, I would prefer the trainee be a Wilkinsburg resident.
Will be duly noted.
Thank you.
Any old business? Any new business?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to bring the attention to see what council wishes to do with our sign policy if we do or do not have one. I know it comes up every time in springtime. The two things that are like clockwork are We Buy Homes cheap signs and campaign signs that are being placed on poles throughout the borough or taped onto signs. What is our current policy? And more importantly, what teeth do we have in our policy to find these individuals for putting up these signs without approval from the borough?
When it comes to signage,
What's good?
I'm sorry. Actually, yes. The signage, specifically political signs, and the ones I will tell you that the posting of signage on telephone poles is completely not allowed with under our zoning. And we do have the issues with that, where we have had with the We Buy Houses, and the political signs are not supposed to be posted on there, but political signs are exempt from certain aspects of the zoning, that they have to be removed after a certain time frame. There were issues in the past where we have gone after people for notices of violations and citations for the signage, specifically for the political signs. That I do know that there is an individual who that it was easier for us to just go take the signs down at that point in time after it than to spend the 20 or 30 hours or so of dealing with it in the court system and the notice of violations, which was a decision I made. I still sent him a notice of violation for that, and went and tried to remove the signs. It actually took me literally only about an hour to go remove the signs compared to the amount of time that I would have put into that. But it is not permitted on telephone poles per our zoning, and there are requirements with an amount of days. Excuse me if I don't get this right, but I want to say it's somewhere to around 60 days after the election. Maybe it's not even that long. I can't remember.
10 days.
I said 10 days. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Actually, it's 30 days.
Is it 30 days?
And past practice has been put down $100 deposit in order to do that. And if you don't take your signs down within 30 days after the election,
Well,
Pamela, I recall that as well, and that's what I was saying. Was that a policy, or is that just something we created? Because I remember exactly what you're saying, Pamela.
Well,
Within the
that's been
zoning
going on
ordinance-
since before I got on council in 1997, so I can't speak to,
But I agree
That's
with
the
you. I mean,
Within the zoning ordinance, political signs are not regulated except for the fact that they cannot go up more than X number of days before election, and they have to be taken down X number of days after an election, and we could probably look that up.
right. It
So
made
it's
the
a matter
60
of code, it's not policy. It's in the borough code.
Correct.
As are listen, if you keep taking enough We Buy Houses signs down, they cost $12 to print each. So if you keep taking enough of them down in your municipality, eventually they'll quit putting them up in your.
Because I have called and spoke to the individual, Dawn has called and spoke to the individual, and I know of another individual in the room here that has called and spoke to them and let them know that are discontent with him putting the signs up. And I tried getting his address from him, and he, of course, he wouldn't give that to me or any information that I could send him a notice of violation. So, but it is one of those things that that we have problems that we have to deal with. But the zoning does not permit for us to take a deposit for them and those types of things. That might have been an in-house policy for political signs. That might have been an in-house policy that was followed through before, but the zoning does not permit that. All right, thank you.
And any other old business? New business? Would you like to report on our successful launch of?
Yeah, so right before our meeting tonight, we had our official unveiling and website launch of the new Borough website, Borough Wilkinsburg website. So we also have notepads here that reflect our new logo as well as our social media handles and tags. We had probably 40 people, 30, 40. It was a really good turnout. We went live for some of it, some we got video footage, there were a lot of photos taken, so again, make sure you like our Facebook page because that will be up there for everyone to see. And I thought it went really well, especially, again, special thanks to Manjot and Moses for their hard work on this. Don, our borough manager, for coordinating this, and especially Sal's Pizza House, the owner Sal, who donated the food to us. So, and I still have some food downstairs, everything went once. So it was really great, and a lot of people are excited about the website and some of our early reviews. A lot of people have said, you know, immediately there's a difference with the user friendliness of it, the colors, vibrant, and it would be interesting to see what our analytics or statistics say of how long people are staying on our website, because that was part of our focus in creating this. We also want people to spend time on our website and learn more about the borough so that they feel empowered to get engaged more.
So, new business, I've just looked up our zoning ordinance, and section 260-704 prohibited and exempt signs. Item 14 reads, signs announcing candidacy for public office. Such signs shall not be installed on utility poles, shall not be installed more than 60 days before the election to which they are relevant, and shall be removed within 7 calendar days immediately following the relevant election day. So that is the citation and the law. Any other new business?
Which can be found on our website, so that's good.
Yeah, all of it is there.
It all ties in.
Now, we do have one more item.
So I have something to do this.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I wanted to point out that on March 10th, Percolate on Trenton Avenue is having an art exhibition for Girls Rock benefit. I encourage everybody to go to it. It's from 6 to 8:30 at Percolate on Trenton Avenue, just on the south. That's one. I had the pleasure of attending a job fair at Christian Church on Wallace Avenue today from 10 to 2, representing the borough, and we had several applications were taken out on some of our jobs. We had our new banner out there, and people were pleased to see that Wilkinsburg was represented. Then we had a number of people, employers come, including the zoo and other places. So it was a good event put on by Michael Johnson. Tonight, as guests of the opening or launching of our website, representatives from ex-Pogo Community Forge were there, who are currently looking to buy Johnson School, Pogo that will go through, but they were there, and I think it was pretty good. They're new to Wilkinsburg, and they're enthused to be part of the community. And just to remind people that I was looking at the date, the symphony will be in town, and if you haven't bought your symphony tickets yet, please buy them from me or a council member, because we're in competition. What time is that?
Yeah, when
The 23rd.
Has anyone heard when the tickets are going to be sold to us or delivered to us to sell? Because somehow I feel that our competitors may be stacking the odds.
I mean, we still have to mail these, I mean, I want to mail these tickets to my tenants, and I'm not going to have enough
The
time.
mayor last time brought us the tickets.
I did talk with Deborah on the school board. They said they were supposed to be getting it to us, but that was a week ago, so.
Then I don't think it's a fair contest.
You'll get them 2 days before.
Right.
And you're gonna lose.
Okay, well, we do have one more item for new business, and it is dealing with a loss, a real loss to us, but we certainly want to recognize what a presence this individual has had this year. And we have a plaque to recognize our Coro Fellow for this last year, Manjot Singh. And he said he's leaving us. Somehow I still find him in his office, and he's showing up at meetings. So this just reads, Wilkinsburg Borough presents this award to Manjot Singh in appreciation for his service to the community through the Coro program 2016 through 17. So, you want to speak? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I just want to thank you all for honestly welcoming me with such open arms. I came all the way from Los Angeles, and it was a big shift for me, and being able to be sort of in such a supportive and welcoming environment kind of blew me away. And your constant effort to find supportive and like meaningful projects for me to work on also was both useful for me, but also I hope useful for you all. And Wilkinsburg seriously is such a wonderful place, and to have a small part in sort of the projects you're working on, and the passion that it takes to be part of local government is inspiring. So thank you all for doing what you normally do. Thanks.
One item before we adjourn, we did have an executive session before the meeting to discuss legal. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we are adjourned.
You can all thank Manjot for the mild winter as well. Every time it dropped below 30, he was like, this is horrible. I can't take this. Then we got him out to turn his heat on.
My GoFundMe.